All right, I guess it's my turn to do the intro, and well, welcome back
Oh,
to the Pluto Cup. We're starting off with our semi-finals. We finished our group stages now, and we're here for the first semi-final, and then we're going to hand it off later on, and we'll have the finals later on in the day. But for now, it is back to Crabs versus Claptune for our semi-final matchup, the rematch from our first group stage game that we covered on stream. Let's see which one of these teams come out on top.
yeah. Thank you for the cover there. I didn't have my hearing aid in. Sorry, I did, didn't get the note. Didn't get the note. No worries, no worries. But hey, before we get into that, if you like that video you saw, go check out the Elo Hell Esports YouTube. We've got more Spot the Smurf, latest one featuring Josh Sideshow Wilkinson. We've also got our new series, Guess That SR, up there, so you'll go check it out. Also, if you want to be part of these kind of tournaments, learn more about all the events we have going on here at Elo Hell, go join the Discord. It's a fun time. Meet some like-minded gamers. Maybe find yourself a pug to go play. It's good stuff. It's good times had by all. But
Yeah.
enough about that, Ocean. Let's talk about these two teams.
Yeah, let's talk about them indeed. And I mean, Team Five Crabs already like they just looked like a really solid team in the first game. They have a really solid tank line, a really solid support core. They're running some really consistent and stable competitions, which was cool to watch. And of course, on Clapton, we've watched them twice already today. The highlight is Toxic Flow.
Absolutely. Been popping off all day long here for Claptune. Seen some fantastic far play. We've seen some fantastic tracer play all around. Just a fun gamer to watch do their thing. As
Yeah,
they're going to Well, we're changing our format a little bit as we head into this
yeah.
semifinals match. We're got a group stage now. We're getting into the meat of this bracket, and we're going into a best of three. But all three maps will be control maps, and it's 2 points to win this match, unlike the 3 points that we saw in group stage.
Yeah, so it's different format, not only in how many maps we play, so it's best of three in the maps, but also, well, it's not first to three anymore in your control. It's first to the usual standard competitive format. And an interesting note is we're going to start things off in Lijiang again, and both of these teams played Lijiang against each other early on, so that means a little bit of a repeat for both of these teams.
Absolutely. Not not only are the teams getting a bit of a rematch from our first series of the day, but we're going right back to the same map, start things off. We'll see if Team 5 Crabs can come back, show them what for, get their a little bit of revenge.
I mean, one thing I'm looking out for is they're 1-1 on Garden, technically, so
It's true.
if we get Garden again, that'll be exciting to watch.
But yeah, we're not guaranteed all three maps this time.
Yeah.
Although I'm still hoping for some control center. I still love watching some control center. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's the tank
It's
player.
because you play Reinhardt. You like swinging at
It's
things, man.
so
You already
true.
explained it.
It's so true. It's so true. I wish there was more to it than that, but no, it's really that simple. It's the simple things in life, Ocean. That's the most enjoyable.
Well, my favorite thing about Overwatch is literally the sounds when you're like zapping the life out of the enemy is so nice. Reinhardt, nice little clunk of the hammer, break little nice clunk of the fail. And my favorite one's Winston. When you're tasering like multiple opponents, you actually do feel like you're draining the life out of them. And that's the real sort of sense that you want from a video game.
Oh, that the getting massive cleave with Winston is just such a cool feeling. You just found the perfect spot. You've got that jump ready to go. You can get out at a moment's notice, and you're just doing damage to the entire team. That ult charge just flying up, that little circle just filling up so fast, so fast.
And also Somber's sound. I really like Somber's gun sound when you're hitting shots and building up to that EMP. And you just know, as soon as you have that EMP, you're going to make their lives a living hell. And I feel like that makes you feel like a better person.
I love the sound through an amp matrix too. Like that extra little
True.
zing of the amp matrix. It does just give you that feeling of, oh, I'm about to put the hurt down. Oh, it's so satisfying. So satisfying indeed.
What other ones becoming in real quick? I mean, Tracer as well, pretty nice. Genji
Oh
Shuriken
yeah,
Dash.
no, getting the headshots with Tracer when you land a clean volley of headshots with a Tracer, also just super satisfactory feeling. The big red X pops on your screen. And you're like, yes, I actually did something right.
You
Which
say
for me,
that, but I don't think you ever hit headshots on
I
Tracer.
was gonna say, I mean, you're taking the dig. I was already on it myself, and it doesn't happen very often. But that's why I'm not the one playing. We're gonna watch these fantastic players take the stage, take to the battlefield as we head into Lijiang Tower.
Hey, we're back on Garden, my favorite map, and we are gonna see technically a best of three of Garden because both of these teams have already played Garden twice against each other today, so we'll see who takes the garden best of 3. It's not actually how we're clarifying our winner, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, battle over the guards. It doesn't sound, I feel like we're just destroying this beautiful scenery, coming in here, creating all this havoc in this such a serene place. It's a garden. No, no, it's a battlefield. That's what they should have called this. Lijiang Tower Battlefield.
Ready for battle.
I mean, imagine like Sanctuary. Imagine you were working at the Sanctuary and these guys are just attacking each other at a local sanctuary. It is there. It is a sanctuary. You're not meant to attack each other there, but it is an interesting map nonetheless.
I just picture some poor monk, like, I've got to clean up after you. Come on. Walking out there with his sweeper broom. I mean, just cleaning up after giant Winstons. Speaking of Winstons, looks like we're going to get Winstons from both sides. Winston Diva, as a matter of fact. Genji Tracer here for Team 5 Crabs with Widowmaker and Pharah coming out from Claptune.
Yeah, Toxiflow back on that signature Pharah pick. We'll see if they can get the value they had on Night Market in their previous meeting, but of course that was cancelled out on Gardens later on in the series.
Well, the speed from the Lucio allowed Team 5 Crabs to get on there early, but Lucio goes down. First to fall in this match, Toxic Flow. Landed 2 kills right out of the gate with the Pharah, trying to get the third. Can get the Genji. Oh, the deflect comes out. Genji's so low, just one little tick. There it is. Gets the Genji back to spawn with the Tracer, the next one, and Toxic Flow. Science Recall used early. Now trying to dash to that Mega. Oh, caught in a corner, nowhere to go but off the side.
Yeah, and that's the juicy environmental kill for Toxic Flow. So that's one for the clip, one for the Reddit, and well played from Toxic Flow. Gets a couple kills early on that forehand. It looks like, yeah, they're trying to play decisive, win the ground fight as fast as possible in 5 crowds, but they do so pretty poorly. It's just that they're over aggressive time and they get caught out.
Tracer on point already. Jace getting a little bit ahead of the rest of the team. And Valerie is once again the first to fall in the engagement. Pulse bomb from Jace gets gobbled right up there by Ion on the Diva. Toxic Flow with a beautiful direct onto Jace. Sits the Tracer just reeling in pieces. Garage online, ready to go. Oh, and another nice direct on a kind of close.
Yeah, Toxic Flow is just destroying Crab's hopes and dreams. But what confuses me earlier is they managed to find a system going where they didn't need the hit scan to take on Toxic Flow. They just played to their strengths on the ground, had Jace on the Tracer, and they actually just nullified the forehand that way. But this time, Toxic Flow's either found something to deal with that, or they're just not playing the game they were before.
Jace trying to equalize now. They're going to focus on the Ana, but Toxic Flow gets the environmental onto the Winston. Following up with a kill onto Jace as well. Self-destruct into the mix. Finds a kill for Claptune as the team continues to clean house, maintain control. They said, get off of our point. Now, well, they're going to allow the baby Diva just to hang out. They'll sit around and have some tea before finally kicking her in the back of the head. Oh, the sleep dart kill. The long nap there for Moon.
Yeah, they have ultimates online as well for this last fight. They've managed to use their ultimates well enough to where this last fight turns to a Yup Barrage, Nanoboost, Tactical Visor, and Primal Range. Ultimates available. That's going to be extremely difficult for Crabs to even get a foothold in this map.
The Legs Visor was the first to come out. Moon is obstruct in. Oh, the deflect! Oh, it was too much. The barrage overwhelming the deflective Lenjoyer, picking up a pair of kills before all is said and done. Lazy Lizard, if they manage to get that Primal out, they might be able to stall this thing out for a little longer. You got to touch. Okay, on to the point. Primal Range are going. But Big Bomb still working the outside with the Soldier. Valerie able to get a kill amongst us onto the Ana, but still not able to deal with the Pharah in the sky. Toxic Flow continues to rain death from above.
Yeah, it's actually just from above as the voice line that we all know and love. They have to stop Toxic Flow. They were doing it before. They originally struggled with dealing with that Pharah, but now we're back to the problems we were saying in the old series, where Toxic Flow just has the power to carry all this Pharah pick, and they have to do something about it, and fast on the side of Crabs.
Crabs looks like they're going to make some swaps here as we head into Control Center. Of course, both teams look to bring out the Reinhardt as expected for this close quarters map. We're going to get the Brig and the Ana coming out from Claptune, while Team 5 Crabs sticking with the Moira Lucio.
Yeah, it's a more consistent composition, and it's a lot easier to understand and a lot easier to play. Actually, no, we're not. No, we're not. We're gonna see a Mercy here. I'm not sure
We
what
are
that
gonna
pick's
see
all about.
Mercy.
Mercy, Lucio. Never really the brightest idea, but we'll see if it works out. Okay, they're going Mercy Pop. Just Lucius people.
There you go. That looks a little bit more symbiotic. Toxic Flow on the Junkrat here. So far, the star DPS from Claptune. Gonna pick up the Australian demolition expert. Enjoyer tossing a bunch of spam damage in with the same hero from the opposite side, trying to make it oh so dangerous for Claptune to walk up into wide, give some protection for the rest of the team who's trying to push up control that space. Nobody picking up the point just yet. Lazy Lizard finds a nice kill. All important kill, taking the Ana down. Team 5 Crabs pick up control of the point. Nice rock to drive Big Bomb away. We can swap over to that Reaper. And Team 5 Crabs maintaining control, setting the pace here early in control center.
Yeah, I would like to actually suggest something. Like, Joyer's the better Junkrat player if you look at him. Toxic Flow, the ultimate charge. Riptide pulled up 74% for Toxic Flow. In the Junkrat matchup, has been better from Joyer now. You have to push for this choke against the Junkrat. They're able to control that space on the side of Crabs.
Good news for Claptune is they'll have to support ult push in with, but they're gonna have to worry about this Tire Ant Matrix already out from Team 5. Man, just throwing so much. Oh, the mines through the Ant Matrix. There's that glorious sound we were talking about earlier. Moon has that Gravitic Flux as well here for Team 5 Crabs to help fend off the incoming aggression. Flux is gonna come out. That found 2. The Tire finds 3. Combination of the ults gives Team 5's the Crabs the fight win. The nano boosted Reinhardt just crumples and he.
They have to use a lot of ultimates, so they use the Amplification Matrix, they use the Gravitic Flux, and they invest the Riptide. So that's 3 ultimates down the drain. However, some value equipped with those ultimates as well. But now you've given up the choke because you lost too many in that last fight, and there are ultimates in line for the side of Claptune to have the rally, which they're gonna engage with now, and of course they've got the Riptide from Toxic Flow.
Riptide coming out, going into the middle, looking for the bulk of Crabs, does not find anything. Jason killed but sacrificed himself in the process. 5v4 favoring the Crabs on this objective. With that Earth Shatter ready to go, chipsets look to fall into nothing, and not see any value come from that Earth Shatter, but no value from Linjoyer's Tire either. In fact, Big Bomb able to go in and get the kill while the Junkrat was vulnerable. Lazy Lizard taken out of the fight. The shotgun damage of the Edge Lord just too much. Toxic Flow returns on the Doomfist, able to lay on the nice right hook. Claptune, they're going to get to this point flipped over after some cleanup.
Yeah, almost stepping into the trap Toxic Flow as Joyer will reset. 99-0, so that means they just need to win one more fight to bring us back level on Lijiang once again. Lazy Lizard has the Air Shatter Laser, but they don't really have anything else apart from potentially the Gravitic Flux and the Ant Matrix, and there's still a nice ultimate advantage to the side of Claptune to try and get their way back into this control center map.
Rally going to be the first of those ults used. Big Bomb close to that Death Blossom as well. Looks like Team 5 Crabs is just trying to surround the objective, collapse all at once. Jace made that swap to the Doomfist to opt into the heavyweight bout against Toxic Flow. Now trying to turn attention on the Reaper. Besides, that's not a good fight. No, Big Bomb chases him down with the dual shotties. Still has that Death Blossom ready to go. And Claptune still maintaining control.
I mean, they have to invest their rally, which is their most critical support ultimate, because it just gives you so much sustainability in the fight. And Ion also has to invest their main sort of DPS ultimate, which is the Gravitic Flux. However, if you keep getting picks like those, it's going to be impossible for Crabs to even push in.
Flow played out, was on his back, and they're not able to quite find the kill. In fact, it's Jace going down on the Doomfist first. Moon trying to flank around to the side, but under so much pressure. Lazy Lizard with a beautiful pin. While Chipset was standing there trying to block the rock, Lazy Lizard gets the nice charge, finds the kill. Enjoy takes Big Bomb out of the fight. But we're going to deal with Toxic Flow on this Doomfist. Tire might help with that. No, that's going to find the Brig. Nano Boost used onto Sigma. Ion going in, trying to make something happen. And the Earth Shatter comes down from Chipset, takes Linjoy out of the fight, finds 3 others under the weight of that big hammer. The kills come through. And in a very scrappy engagement, Claptune able to crawl and fight their way back up. It's 99-99 on this point, and well, nothing but Claptune on the objective.
Yeah, Claptune will take this control center map, and I think it's down to the support picks, honestly. Once that res is done, and I mean, you're running a Doomfist, so you're not going to get any value out of the damage boost. You don't get any value out of that Mercy pick after the resurrect, and the high sustainability and brawl composition that Claptune was running was just better in that situation, and that enabled them to take control center. We talked about control center being a really bully map, but having the honor, having the break, having that high sustainability was enough to give Claptune the edge.
No, Claptune overwhelmed them. The DPS coming through as we have seen all day here from this team. And just as much work as Toxic Flow did in the first map there, I felt like Ben Bauer was getting some work done there on Control Center.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as they made that Reaper swap, they were playing
Yeah.
all right. But actually, I should probably rephrase. As soon as they managed to get through that choke against the Junker, then they had a bit more space to work with. Then they started to get work out of that Reaper. But beforehand, it was definitely a little bit more difficult, as it would be if you can't get through the choke and you're limited to only a little amount of space. Of course, you're not going to get as much work done. You can only work with what you're given with, though. And sometimes when you don't have much, you got to try and pull something out of the bag. So that's one thing I do want to see from Big Bam.
As we are going to head into Busan for map number 2. All 3 here in our best of 3 will be control maps. Team
Mhm.
Claptune now on match point, looking to continue through the bracket here in the Pluto Cup. We'll see if the Crabs can counter Toxic Flow and Big Bomb. DPS so far carrying the workload for Claptune.
Yeah, I want to point out that Claptune just are now starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with their tank line. Maybe just the synergy wasn't quite right there before. Maybe, for example, if Kravitz might have signed up with their two tanks, signing up together. But Claptune, they seem to have now got onto the same page. They seem to be pretty comfortable on some of the more probably double shield competitions, and they had an all right dive. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular. They weren't counter diving properly or abusing space that well, but they did enough to give Toxic Flow the space. And when you have a player as capable of Toxic Flow, just give them the space and they'll pop off.
Absolutely. And going into Busan, I mean, the option for more Pharah is certainly there. And I think that's been their strongest heroes so far.
I mean, we've seen them on Tracer as well. On this map, we saw
True on
Toxic Flow
downtown
play
or
Tracer.
Sanctuary. It was a
Yeah,
Sanctuary. Yeah, that transfer was killer. You're absolutely right.
we also saw the Genji from Toxic Flow on this map on both Mecha Base and Downtown. So this seems to be a bit of a comfort pick for Claptune. Of course, they didn't get to pick the map, but they won this map in their previous series. So now the momentum is firmly on their side.
Absolutely, and momentum cannot be underestimated or underrated in Overwatch. It seems you got the wind at your back. It changes the whole course of the fight. Right now, Team Claptune are the ones controlling the flow of that wind. They got their sails up, full billowed, moving full steam ahead, and right into South Korea, taking us to Busan.
Yeah, speaking of momentum, we've seen two series, especially from the console scene, uh, on Elo Hell that have really, talked about momentum. If you remember the LXS 2 finals between Banditos, where it was that 0.1 second capture from Banditos, keeping them in the series, and then they swept the rest of the series from there. And no one last night in our junior semifinals of Get Good, they were 2-0 down. They managed to get a sneaky draw on King's Row, and then they managed to reverse sweep from there. A 3-2 win in a 6-map thriller last night. If you haven't seen that series, you should probably go and check it out. It was super awesome to be there.
It was. That was a fantastic series. A lot of fun stuff coming out from Elo Hill Esports this summer. Chock full of action, just like we're about to see heading into Busan here between Team 5 Crabs and Claptune.
Yeah, we're back on downtown, so it'd be interesting to see if Toxic Flow sticks under that Genji or if they make some different swaps around. And of course, Clapton just played this map in our previous series when they played against Burn. So that's what we're going to be watching for. But also, what we're going to be watching for is Crabs. We haven't seen them on this series yet, or on this map yet in this entire tournament. And they beat Clapton earlier, but will they fall in our next map? Of course, this is best of 3. So if Clapton do win this map, this series will be over.
Yep, Team 5 Crabs, excuse me, looking to hold on to send us to that elusive map 3. And it seems like they're going to bring out the Winston to help do that. The Asha and the Genji put the hurt down. On the other side, we're getting a little Winston wrecking ball. We could see some of those dive tanks again. Toxic Flow picking up that Tracer.
I wonder if they were watching the stream and saw the Zarya Winston have good effectiveness against Toxic Flow and Big Bomb. So that's what they're going to go for themselves. See that Zarya Winston composition pays dividends against the side of Claptune once again.
This is such a cool pairing. You don't originally think of Winston and Zarya being a great matchup, and Zarya enables the Winston so much. But it's not going to be enough to protect him there. Moon falling first here on Busan. Big anti in the pack, but Lazy Lizard goes down as well. No more take standing for Team 5 means they're not going to have the sustain to push in onto this point.
Yeah, quick fight win for Claptune. Nothing really working for the side of Crabs, and then we're running this Winston Zarya competition. But look, Moon was unable to get any sort of charge on that Zarya, which means no damage, and nowhere near to that couple of seconds. They're going to get off it immediately. Go to a more simple type competition that they ran previously on guard, and it worked so well for them because they didn't really do anything complicated. They just kept it simple and just dived under the enemy bank line. I think that's what they're going to look to do on the big bomb in this next fight.
I like the Diva swap. You can put the pressure on the higher ground.
Okay.
Oh, but if Big Bomb keeps hitting shots like that, all the pressure in the world's not going to help you. Matrix should help against Toxic Flow on this Tracer, but Tracer is elusive. Oh, so good. Jace making a swap to the Tracer themselves, but loses the duel. Toxic Flow finding their rhythm here on Busan.
I mean, Toxic Flow and winning a Tracer duel. I can't name a more iconic duel at this current moment. They have the postpone for the next fight. Jace, of course, just swapping over to the Tracer that previous fight, losing the Tracer duel. So Toxic Flow has that advantage and has the postpone the next time. This next fight, and they have the information. They know where the opposition is because of Big Bang's different side. This could be a massive postpone.
Joy making the swap over to the Junkrat to help deal with that Tracer. Voltom comes out, though, lands right in the middle there. I think Toxic Flow got the kill before the bomb went off. Now, Jay's going to try to come up and take the duel, forces out the recall. Mines on the point are going to demag Moon, with the pile driver getting the subsequent kill. Ion eventually taking down Jace. The rest of Claptune taking up residence on the objective.
Yeah, this is last fight territory. Now, Crabs have to find something, or they will be out of our Pluto Cup. In for sight, the ultimate, the hero ultimate of the day. An underrated ultimate, but that information gave Toxic Flow enough to get that pulse bomb off and get damage in the back line, and I think it's going to be enough for Claptune to take the series.
Claptune taking up residence on top of the sniper tower there. Lazy Lizard going to go ahead and pop Primal. They've got a full spot with the pocket too for Team 5 Crabs. Will it be enough? They need to win this fight if they want to stay in the tournament. Jason's going to take down Ion early. It's a good start.
Nice stick
on to the Hammond. Beautiful stick. That's a two-man advantage here for Team 5 Crabs on the point, but they've got to get Toxic Flow off of this Tracer if they want to win this fight. Taking on the Moira, taking on the Lucio. No more heals left on the objective. Toxic Flow eats a mine. Lucio finishes them off. Team 5 Crabs finally get control, keep themselves alive here in the Pluto Cup.
What an awesome stick from Jason the Tracer. Getting displaced by the opposition wrecking ball, still manages to stick the pulse bomb and stay on the map. And now this next fight, it's going to be even in terms of ultimates practically. Both support ultimates online for Toxic Flow and company. However, that pulse bomb doesn't amount to anything, and now Big Bomb's in trouble with that Tracer duel.
Jay all over that Widowmaker, not allowing them any room to get some sights down onto the point. Chipset does have the mines online. Big Bomb does eventually win that duel. Oh, one of those difficult targets for a Widowmaker to hit. Big Bomb nailed him right between the eyes. Coalescence out from Cataclysm to try to keep Team 5 Crabs in this. They sound like they're invested in that as well. The two-man Diva Bomb certainly very helpful, but the Coalescence from the other side is going to pick up a kill. Even the odds were 4v4 left of the objective. Big Bomb making the swap over to the Ash, trying to return the fight, while Toxic Flow is there getting the kills, help clean it up. One fight win, and Claptune will take this point, and so far they're getting the kills. It's just the Pilot Diva left. No more 2-5 here. Primal Rage and Lazy Lizard trying to stall for as much time as possible, get those reinforcements back, but it's not going to be long-lived. The Pulse Bomb of Toxic Flow is going to take Valerian out of the fight. The overtime wick is burning. Looks like a couple blue jerseys will get down there to touch. Jace is going to recall after keeping the overtime wick alive, but Toxic Flow takes Linjoyer down. Jace goes down. Claptune. Well, they've got the first round here on Busan.
Yeah, that means it's match point. And well, point. I made this call earlier, but One more control point victory for Claptune, and they will take this series. And they took Mega Base earlier today, so I would not be surprised if we see it again. And I mean, Toxic Flow on the Tracer is a sight to behold, but we're going to go back to the Genji that they ran earlier on Mega Base.
Indeed, Big Bomb sticking with the Widowmaker. We're going to get Reinhardt and Sigma out of Claptune here as we head into Mega Base. Ryan Sigma from the other side as well. Linjoyer going over to the Junkrat. Jace on the Reaper. Help deal with the Genji.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. Jace I actually liked the Reaper pick. I thought that wasn't a bad idea to help shut down Toxic Flow. But Jace will be able to challenge Big Bomb with his Ashe. Fight breaking out right over the middle on the high ground here. Big Bomb trying to side in on the Junkrat, who's putting in a lot of spam damage from the back. Oh, it looks like Toxic Flow was back there trying to double team Linjoyer. Somehow able to fall back into the corner, find some safety. The Team 5 Crabs are just staying in a tiny little death ball and staying alive. Linjoyer finds first blood here on Mecha Base. Chipset back to spawn with V. This should allow for the front line of Team 5 Crabs to push forward, claim a lot more space indeed. Lazy Lizard's going to get the kill, but they lose Cataclysm in the process. The Widowmaker now vulnerable, but if you hit those shots, it's not going to matter. Jace goes down. Lazy Lizard with yet another charge kill. Lazy Lizard on the Reinhardt, keeping Team 5 Crabs in this fight. Ant Matrix down to help clean up the back half of the team. Chipset taking a dive into the ocean. Chipset was feeling a bit warm. Thought they needed a bit of a dip there. Into the ocean they went. Oh, and Ion goes down to join them.
Yeah, nice fight for Crabs getting back into this map so far, and we got to watch out for the Reinhardt juggle this time around. Chipset a little bit down on the Archer. Lazy Lizard's gonna look to throw that into the next fight. They're also close to that Reptile. That might be the main win position that they have for this next fight. They're trying to double stack this choke and make sure that it's going to be impossible for the high ground to be retrieved from them.
Toxic Flow gets the nano. Here comes the blade. Lazy Lizard threw out that Earth Shatter on the Chipset. Might have wished he had saved it for Toxic Flow, who finds 2 kills with the Genji blade. Though now sitting at 11 health, forced to back off. Chipset, and now with his Earth Shatter online, moves on to the point, finds the kill on to Valorant. And Claptune planting their flag here in Mecha Base.
Yeah, Earth Shatter not really getting much value. At least Crowds will be able to get through this choke in their attempt to cement themselves in this series, because if they lose this, they're going out in the semifinal.
Ooh. Yeah, this is truly it. Linjoyer's Tyro perfectly countering the fat Earth Shatter coming through from Chipset. What a play from Linjoyer on the Junkrat. Keeping Team 5 Crabs in this fight. Chipset goes down, trying to escape, but there was no reprieve for you. Only a direct trip back to spawn.
Yeah, that means the Crabs will capture back. They'll take control of this choke for ultimate Despair as well, so they have the ultimate advantage. And looks like Toxic Flow has had enough of this Genji pick. They're going to go over to the Tracer, take the Tracer Jewel. That's what they think it's so good at this morning in our series. But we'll see how that works out for them.
Looks like Big Bomb is working way to the outside, making that McCree flop. Gravitic Flux coming in from Ion, burns down Linjoyer, and oh, Lazy Lizard so low. Immortality Field comes out at a perfect time. Gravitic Flux from the other side is huge, and Lazy Lizard moves in to clean up the kills. Beautifully done. What a perfectly placed and timed Immortality Field to keep those tanks alive and fighting.
Yeah, they win that fight. It's my last fight territory. So now the side of Claptune have to react quickly, but they do have the ultimate to do so. They have the Deadeye and the Nano, so a slight ultimate advantage as Lazy Lizard holds the only ultimate that Crabs have, which is the Earth Shatter.
Yeah, and like and just fight back a little bit. Get from the high ground. Big Bomb fight. No, Lazy Lizard. No, that was not the time to charge. Left your team vulnerable. The Deadeye gets through, gets the all-important kills, and Claptune get the all-important objective.
Yeah, Claptune capping back. That Deadeye gets so many kills, but the Nano boosted Reinhardt of Chipset just put so much pressure on Lazy Lizard, and I feel like Lazy Lizard kind of succumbed to that pressure, and that enabled the Deadeye for Big Bomb. And now Claptune have the point. They have a bit of control in this series. However, ultimate advantage firmly in favor of the Crabs.
Oh my goodness, the Earth Shatter took out the tire. Oh, that's something you don't see every day, Ocean. And we're Tiny Field already forced out. There's a lot of pressure on Team 5 Crabs as they're trying to come out the door. They do eventually muscle their way through. 2 kills in their pocket, but they lose Lazy Lizard on the approach. Since they don't have that shield anymore, they've got to get back to this objective. Jace with the McCree swap finds the kill. Nice, nice. Jace sticking matter in his own hands. Making good work with the Peacekeeper. The Lucio trying to come back and save Chipset on the Reinhardt. Meanwhile, the front line of Team 5 Crabs is pushed onto the objective. Lazy Lizard with their own Earthshatter ready to go. And Jace with a 2-man Deadeye of their own. Now the Earthshatter comes down on the Chipset. Chipset goes back to spawn. And here comes the stall and the stagger from Claptune.
Yeah, Claptune using the Deadeye. They do Toxic Flow to touch, but I don't think it's going to amount to anything. Jace, the hero that the Crabs needed. And it looks like it's going to come up trumps here. And we're going to be level here on Pluto.
Nice Gravitic Flux on the back end to help clean up some kills. Now it's just a pair of tanks left on the point for Claptune. The chipset is... Oh, he was low anyway. You weren't going to survive that chipset, but a valiant attempt. In the end, Team 5 Crabs tying us up, keeping them in this fight.
Yeah, now we'll head to Sanctuary. So something that does suit Toxic Flow, because they played Tracer here earlier, won a lot of Tracer duels against a very good Tracer in Royals. So that's something we're going to be looking out for. But now the momentum kind of bouncing a little bit towards Crabs. And if they can use that right, they can get this series tied up and they'll have an opportunity to advance to our grand finals, which will be showcased later on today. But now, it's in the moment, Toxic Flow versus Jace. That's the duel that we're watching. Let's see who comes out on top.
Yeah, Toxic Flow with a very, very skilled Tracer, but Jace showing us some fantastic work on the McCree. And that flashbang could instantly shut down Toxic Flow. Can they land it, or Toxic Flow dance around it? We will have to wait and see as Team 5 Crabs just pushing right up the middle. Do a little bit of a split attack. 3 going to the objective, 3 trying to work into the drum room. Claptune just going to put the pressure onto the 3 separated, diving in a group of 6, and half of Crabs are already back in spawn. Linjoyer goes down to the dual pistols of Toxic Flow.
Anytime that Claptune are able to play a composition that just demands freedom with the DPS Big Bomb and Toxic Flow, they look so much better. And now switches are forced through from the lineup. For Crabs, they're going to change the support line to go over to the more typical and, sort of standard and, simpler support composition of Lucio and Moira. So let's see if that gives any benefit towards the side of Crabs.
And I think that's a good idea. I mean, if you don't have a lot of pre-existing synergy, play a composition that's easy to identify what your teammates are trying to accomplish and assist in that, which is exactly what they're doing, taking Chipset out early in this fight. And there it is. Jace wins the duel against Toxic Flow. Most important kill you could get for Team 5 Crabs right now. Linjoyer getting in the mix with a pair of kills of their own.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of let them walk on to him. When you're playing that dive composition, you have so much mobility. Use it. Jump around the map, make it difficult for that brawl competition to even get involved. And now you're in a position where you're walking into a jungle. That's never easy. When you're running into any of those really high damage projectile heroes for a Junkrat, etc., it's gonna be insanely difficult to even walk in. Chipset's gonna make a switch here, not feeling comfortable with the Winston anymore. Goes over to the Reinhardt, and Big Bomb going over to the Reaper. So they're gonna take this brawl matchup that they weren't so comfortable with before.
Yeah, Big Bomb, the Reaper swap will allow him to help close that gap against Linjoyer, against that Junkrat, who has Tire coming out right now. Deadeye also. Tire finds 3! Deadeye not as valuable because, well, half the team was already dead thanks to Linjoyer. And Team 5 Crabs running Claptune all the way back.
I mean, they use both of their fields, DPS ultimates there, and they don't get anything apart from a pulse bomb out of the opposition. However, they're not going to be close to those DPS ultimates anyway. The Big Bomb's just switched over to the Reaper. Toxic Flow just switched over to the Haunted, so they're not going to be losing anything by using both their DPS ultimates. It's just kind of a reset in the economy, and it's not looking great here for Claptune here.
Anytime you can win a fight with two ults, I consider that a victory. Self-destruct over the top. Speaking of ultimates, that one gets blocked. Fire already down, so rally out from Zach and try to bolster Claptune as they move in, but they're running right into Moon's Flux. That finds several, but Toxic Flow picks up two with the bow. Arrows landing true, now trying to find Moon with it. No more DPS standing here for Team 5 Crabs. They need to stay alive long enough to put some hurt down, but with those dual shotguns, a big bomb, that is a difficult task indeed. The coalescence from Cataclysm, not enough. Oh, in fact, a nice headshot shuts that down.
They just didn't get any value out of the ultimates they had. They had an ultimate advantage. They didn't take advantage of those ultimates. No value from any of them. Toxic Flow and Big Bomb come up clutch yet again for Claptune. It is sort of last fight territory. I think you get a late staggered fight in if you lose another fight here if you're Claptune, but it doesn't matter. They're not able to take the fight. Toxic Flow keeps getting these picks.
Oh my goodness. They do get the kill on a Toxic Flow, but now they're missing Alicia. They're missing their Junkrat. Yeah, soft reset coming through from Team 5 Crabs. They can't push in any further until the rest of the reinforcements get back. As they return, Lazy Loser gets aggressive on the right-hand side. Earthshatter ready to go. Soundbringer available from Valorane, but they gotta watch out for 4 ults from the other side. Earthshatter from Claptune finds 2. Lazy Loser throws out one of his own, but here come the Dragons. In the end, it is a 3-2 trade favoring Claptune. Moon's going to go ahead and throw down a late Gravitic Flux as time dwindles down. They have got to win this fight. Reinforcements slowly falling from both sides, but Toxic Flow still alive on this Hanzo, still landing those headshots. Coalescence coming out from Cataclysm to try to escort Team 5 Crabs back onto this point. Tyre coming through from the far right-hand side. Looking, circling back around, get Toxic Flow. If you want to win, you've got to get Toxic Flow. No, you just run into a Bridge Shield. That's not going to cut it. Now there's a Death Block with the big bomb, shutting down Valorine. And with a Lazy Lizard fallen as well, the hopes for Team 5 Crabs are dwindling, as is that overtime with Claptune. Will take the 2-0 victory, closing it out here on Busan.
Yeah, Claptune getting their revenge for earlier in the day where they lost to the 5 Crabs roster 3-1 on Legion. And I mean, they look better in this next matchup. They maybe took a little extra confidence from their last match against Ollie Burn. But those last 2 fights where both of the teams had a pretty even amount of ultimates and they just got more value. They just got more value with their ultimates. Lanchoyer, you saw that tire at the end, just into the Brigida shield, and then Big Bomb coming in clutch with a Death Blossom kill, and that twists the fight around. You need to get value out of your ultimates at those critical times, and that's what Claptune did.
And a little bit of a tip of the hat there to Toxic Flow. Just outstanding performance all day long. And that Hanzo pulling out yet another trick from the bag, brings out the Shimada brother. And man, I lost track of how many headshots they were landing with that bow and arrow. That was nutty. That was so fun to watch.
Yeah, I would like to see the stats on that, but I mean, you only switch that hero in like a panic stance, and realistically, that hero isn't really one of those meta picks, isn't that hero that you really associate with high fragging. You would associate with heroes like Widowmaker, Tracer, Genji,
Right.
that high fragging. And Toxic Flow brought it out, got the kills, and twisted the series back into Claptune's favor. And they got to be feeling good about that one, right? You know, they lost to Crabs early in the day, and now they've claimed their revenge, and they will move to
Claim
our grand finals later on.
Yep, moving on through the bracket. We're gonna the winners bracket final, the losers finals, and then we'll have the grand final coming up at you soon. We're gonna hand the baton over to Beanies and Belly, the lovable and charming duo, coming at you next. Myself and Ocean will be bidding you adieu. But thank you so much for watching the first half of the E Division Pluto Cup. Y'all stick around and enjoy the rest of the day. We'll see you soon.